One of the most important constitutional developments in history of East India Company was the Regulating Act of 1773. Now, it was the first time the British Parliament started proper regulation over the company. Now, what factors led to this Regulating Act of 1773? The first important factor was that the dual government system in Bengal was removed in 1772. What was this dual government system? Under this system, the East India Company got all the authority in Bengal and was almost ruling over Bengal indirectly. On the other hand, Nawab was still there as the nominal head of Bengal without any of the authority. This system of dual governance in Bengal worked from 1765 to 1772. In 1772, when this system was removed in Bengal, a new system was needed, and that is why the Regulating Act of 1773 was brought. Another reason was that the company was going through losses. And why it was going through losses in India? Because the company was going through so many wars, and expansionist policies were followed by the company here in India, leading to wars and expeditions. Military expeditions were very costly, leading to losses for the company. Second reason was that the gumashtas, the servants of the company, they were misusing the trade rights for their own private trade, leading to losses to the company. So the company then applied for a loan to the British Parliament. The loan was approved for the company, but at the same time, the regulations also started over company by the Parliament. Another reason why the regulation was needed because the company got huge resources in India and it was completely in a position to change the parliamentary politics there in England. Now, before the company would start influencing the British parliamentary politics with the help of the huge resources in India, the British Parliament was always eager to control the company. That is why again the Regulating Act of 1773 was brought. Now, what were the important provisions of the Act? First important provision was that the Governor of Bengal became the Governor General of Bengal. So this was for the first time the post of Governor General was created, and this started showing the tendency of centralization of power with the post of Governor General. Then the Governor General was given a council, and the council had 4 members. Now the Governor General got the council of 4 members in which he got the casting vote. So what do you mean by casting vote? That he would ordinarily not vote, and he would only vote when there would be a tie among the members and there would be division of the vote between 2 and 2. Then only to decide the matter he would vote. This is something that is called casting vote. अब याद रखेंगे, at this stage the Governor General of Bengal did not have the authority to override the decisions of the council. Then Bengal was the seat of Governor General, and that is why the Council of Bengal was considered superior compared to the councils of Bombay and Madras. Another provision required the directors of the company to send all the communication that was coming from India, from East India Company to the British government. So by this time, the scrutiny of the administrative details coming from India, from the East India Company, also started by the British government. Then in this act, there was also a provision that a Supreme Court should be established at Calcutta. Now, these were the important provisions of the Act. Now, if we start evaluating the Act, first we have to figure out that the Supreme Court at Calcutta was established in 1773 and the first Chief Justice was Eliza Impey. But at the same time, the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta, rather than solving the problem, also created a new problem. What was the problem? Just try to understand. First of all, the Supreme Court was there in Calcutta, but as per the earlier existing provisions or the tradition from the Mughal time period, the highest courts of appeal in Bengal, they were Sadar, Diwani Adalat and Sadar, Nizamat Adalat. Now, Sadar Diwani Adalat was for civil cases, Sadar Nizamat Adalat was for the criminal cases, but they were already existing as the highest courts of appeal. And now there was another Supreme Court like thing in Calcutta. So there was overlap of jurisdiction and that complicated the problem. So first, when we talk about evaluation, the first problem created by this regulating act, that the overlap of jurisdictions of the courts complicated the trouble. Second problem, that you will find that Bengal was considered superior than Bombay and Madras. So Bengal Council was considered superior than the councils of Bombay and Madras. But the nature of subordination of Bombay and Madras councils, it was not clearly defined. So that often led to a conflicting situation between Bengal Council and on the other hand Bombay and Madras Council. So basically this was another trouble. Now when you talk about evaluation, the third problem was that the Governor General got just a casting vote. So he would only be able to vote when there would be a tie between 2 and 2. Don't you think that in this case, the Governor General did not have the authority to override the decisions of the council? The biggest trouble at this stage with the Governor General, that most of the time he would be outvoted by his own council. Hastings was so much troubled by his own council, in fact. Then, certainly, if you talk about the post of Governor General of Bengal created for the first time, the first Governor General was Hastings. And he was Hastings I. The time period of Hastings 1772 to 74. He was Governor of Bengal. From 1774 to 1785, he became Governor General of Bengal. It was after the implementation of the Regulating Act of 1774. So, अब याद रखेंगे, the first Governor General of Bengal was Hastings I. Additional information that we can have here is that the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck, who became the first Governor General of India, not Bengal, the Governor General of India after the Charter Act of 1833. Again, one additional information, that if we talk about the first Governor General and Viceroy, the post was created after the Government of India Act of 1858, and the first Governor General and Viceroy was Canning. The Government of India Act was brought after the revolt of 1857, and after that the Governor General also became Viceroy as the representative of the British Crown, because the British government has directly taken over the administration in India and the rule of the company was removed. Now, this is what I wanted to discuss with you in this session of History Simplified. Very soon I would be there with a new session. Thank you so much.